We do have a question here from Roland from Dauphin Island. Not exactly an injury question, but I think we could help nonetheless. He says he had $2,000 worth of work done to his car, and 10 days later the wheel fell off while driving. Can I sue the mechanic who did the work? Took 3 trips to get the initial work done. Russ, what kind of advice would you give Roland here?
Well, first I'd tell him probably to find another mechanic. And that would probably be my initial.
Go somewhere else.
But he's probably figured that out himself. But, you know, obviously it would depend on what the work was he had done initially. If it involved that wheel, yeah, that could be a big problem. 10 days later, the thing's falling off. And I've heard of other situations like that. And that's one that really, Roland, you're talking about going after the mechanic probably to get your money back for whatever he's paid him, because obviously the repair wasn't very good and any other damage it might have caused. Something he could probably do on his own in small claims court or in district court. Forms are pretty easy. The problem, you know, if you try to find a lawyer to help you with that directly, you know, you kind of get upside down with your cost involved in something like that. You're talking about a couple $1,000s of a repair bill. But in small claims or district court, the process is pretty easy. Get in there, tell the judge your side of the story, and have your evidence lined up. You know, definitely worth pursuing.
What about what about a strongly worded letter from an attorney? That wouldn't that wouldn't cost a whole lot, right?
Yeah, sometimes that works, Andrea, and then sometimes you know. Sometimes people really don't care. If that guy's kind of, you know, again, I don't know if he's just a shade tree mechanic or if he's got his own business or if he's part of a larger company. It really kind of depends on those circumstances in terms of whether that'll get their attention. But again, if a letter doesn't work, bringing them into court through small claims or district court, you get a trial setting pretty quick. It's just the judge. There's nothing, you know, super hard about it down at that level, and bring them in and let the judge decide. Doesn't sound like a hard one.
And Andrea, right? Yeah, and Andrea, Russ brings up a really good point as far as, you know, whether it is a mechanic at a, you know, reputable, you know, business, or you know, someone that's you know, licensed and insured, and that brings up a really good point for anyone who wants to have any type of work done, whether it be on their car or their home. I will tell you right now, I'm actually in the market trying to find. I've got to have a lot of tree work done. I've got a tree. We had one that fell during Hurricane Sally that fortunately missed our house, but we've got another one that is kind of pointing towards the house. And so we're looking for someone who will come and remove this 65-foot oak tree that is kind of, you know, starting to point towards the house. And absolutely 100%, the first thing that I ask is, you know, are you licensed, bonded, and insured? Because you don't want to just get any Tom, Dick, or Harry to come over and say, yeah, well, I can take that thing down. And then next thing you know, it falls on your house and they don't have insurance. And so the same thing with a plumber, an electrician. You know, think about that. An electrician who's working on the power of your house, and if they did something that caused the fire or something like that, you need to make sure whatever kind of work you have done, you need to make sure that those people are licensed, insured, and bonded. So if something bad does happen, you'll have a recourse to be able to make things right.
Yeah, a lot of times there's regulatory bodies behind these industries, and you can go online and just look up, you know, does this person have a lot of complaints? If so, that's maybe not the person that I want to use for that job. So there's different ways to do your research there.